Champions Field, that's going to be reserved for Kinsey, although I'm sure Dreaz is on his way to make a run. So US West first two is what we decided, and then East the rest of the way. So US West, we're going to go to Manfield. Let's get to it. All right, welcome to the stream here. It's FeerRL's Showmatch March is what it feels like it's been today. Or sorry, today, and not just today, but the rest of March. Or maybe the COVID-19 show matches. We'll see what they ended up calling it in history, you know, as they trade each other some good lucks, and Gino gets that goal number 1 off a kickoff. So we're going to do what we normally do at the beginning of these streams. What's going on, Night Owl? Which talk about the history of these guys on stream. If you guys have noticed in the title, Gino is 7-5 and earned the title of Iron Man, as he's easily played the most show matches here. At 12, I think second place is the King Kinsey, who's at 10, but Gino, not quite the same victory record as Kinsey, as he's approaching 500 here, but he is not afraid of anyone as he goes back to his bread and butter. Take a moment from talking about their show match history here to talk about this shot that has been Gino's go-to for a long time on the stream. Just really good at that, you know, 30-40 yard. I like how I'm saying yards. I really don't know how many yards there are in this field, but you know, that just inside the half-court line flick has just really been dominant for him. But he's going to get a kickoff goal here, or get kickoff goal on. But we should look to see Gino use that more often, because even though you could think he's a little bit of a one-trick pony, he's shown that he can, you know, win complete and utter games off of it, whether he makes it or just forces somebody into a bad spot. Sometimes you fear the guy who's practiced the same punch 10,000 times, as opposed to the guy who's practiced 10,000 punches once. So anyways, we're gonna go back to their guys. I made that up, by the way. That quote was me, original me. If you really like it, just make sure you credit FeerRL. So Gino's played 12 matches, 7 wins, 5 losses, and he's played against, honestly, I feel like he's ended up losing only against the top players on the stream. Gino does a really good job at handling probably the lower 50 of the top 100, or maybe even as much as the lower like 60, 70 of the top 100, but where he's seen his troubles is when he's faced off against the best of the best. So the likes of Kinsey, he's dropped twice of his 5 games now, and I think he's dropped to maybe like Sharp and Colley or something, you know, a top 50 player. I think the other time he's lost was to Robo, which is his only loss to somebody who's not in the top 50. So he only picks up losses against really good players. And for the most part, he's getting wins. As Dreaz gets a nice air dribble here. We'll clip this one. Nothing too special about it, except for what's mostly special is just how he's able to slow it down and keep it right at the end there. He did a good job of separating his car just for a bit and then remaking contact right in the most crucial moment when Gino needs to make a decision about how to save it. So he's able to sneak it past him and get a second goal. Dreaz's show match history is something that people are probably keeping an eye on if you've been watching the stream at all, as he's making a little bit of a streak. His first game is this, Gino should be able to sneak in a pretty easy goal here as Dreaz just misses the boost at midfield. He dropped one game to Sharp on his very first show match, and he barely dropped it. This is when both of him and Sharp were in the top 10, and he lost in game 5 where he could have scored to force overtime. So about as close as you could possibly lose. Since then, the kid cannot lose. After dropping his game, I'm looking over at our list of games here. After his dropping his game to Sharp, he played King Ranny 3-0. He played Creams 3-1. He rematched Sharp, got a 3-0, so he redeemed his loss. And then the most recent game he's played was against Robo, maybe a couple days ago, where he 3-1 Robo. So since his game 5 loss, I think he's only lost 2 games. 1 to Creams and 1 to Robo. But he has been dominant. He is going to start this game off, though, down 4-2 halfway through it, as Dreaz has been doing a good job of keeping some pressure. Just gets a nice bump on a slow roll towards the net, forcing an awkward save out from Dreaz, and he's able to get that 4th goal. Gino has quite the repertoire that he uses. Nice speed off this kickoff. Good timing on this front flip to get that 5th goal. Just a big kickoff win. Dreaz thinking he had time to get boost, and The precision and speed from Gino is too much to grab boost and get in front of the net. Gino's playstyle is, despite his having an extremely good, as he's getting another kickoff here, despite having a extremely good like go-to move with that 90-degree flick that he has, he certainly does not lack other skills. His, defending is fine, and his aerial game when he goes to it is also not bad. He's put on some pretty impressive aerial goals in show matches past. So overall, he's a pretty well-rounded player, and he's not afraid of anyone, as he's willing to go again and again back to these show matches. And I think that's what makes him such a scary opponent, as he's just been through everything and doesn't have any glaring weaknesses. He does force opponents to play very well against him in order to get the win here. Dreaz trying to sneak a demo, but it's not going to work, and Gino's going to go up 7-2 in a dominating fashion in this game number 1. With 2 minutes left, it's time to start thinking that Gino might pull off this game number 1. We have to assume, starting at the beginning of the show match, that Dreaz is the favorite. He's been in the ladder, which maybe we haven't mentioned yet. He's been in, recently, as his last 3 or 4 show matches, he was number 1 in North America, and since then he's probably dropped to 2nd or 3rd in North America. He gets a nice air dribble bump, floating that ball to the far right of the net and getting that bump on Gino all the way on the left. Gino not getting anywhere near that ball as it falls in. Really good play from Dreaz, but he's got a lot left to make up. So yeah, despite Gino's experience on the stream, we still have to favor Dreaz based on that rank ladder and based on the really good games he's put together recently. Gino actually been on a bit of maybe a losing streak. I know he caught a loss to Robo recently and then had to play Kinsey, which is of course a guaranteed loss for anybody who's played on stream. So Dreaz certainly coming into this game hotter than Gino, but never doubt Gino. Dreaz is going to reduce that lead to 3. If he keeps up this pace, he's not going to have much issue at all making it back. So Gino going to have to find the sauce that he was using in the first half of this game. He's watching this replay with us, maybe using this opportunity to reset a little bit. Gino able to get behind this ball and prevent that kickoff, but the boost steal will come into play, and Dreaz has got possession and ball. Gino's going to have to touch this one softly off to the side, but he's able to use the 12 boost that he is picking up to keep Dreaz out of the net for now, and this shot is really weak as Gino has an opportunity to take the ball away, but the pressure from Dreaz has been really good. It's good for him to dive quick there and try and get a demo, because if he didn't, Gino was going to start taking over control. This flick is high, but the pressure's not over for Gino. He is certainly not out of the woods yet. This low 50-50 is not a bad attempt to try and squeeze it by Gino, but this full clear will finally come out. So impressive set of defense there. And not only does Gino keep Dreaz out of the net, but he also wastes 30 plus seconds, which is almost the more precious thing at this time. Nice slowdown on this air dribble. Even Gino gives it the nice shot. These are really impressive plays here. Something I've noticed these top level guys do a lot more often. These straight up boring air dribbles where you take the ball right into the net. These guys save those 100% of the time. So people have started adding in, bumps and flip resets, and it seems like another thing that they add is just slowing the ball down by a significant amount to force a miss. And that time Dreaz gets in front of the ball, slows it down so much he forces out that miss. But nice kickoff win from Gino to erase the hard-earned goal. Means he's going to have a 3-goal lead with 24 seconds. Gino winning this game number 1 is great for multiple reasons. Not only is he going to go up and score a game against the guy who's made it really hard to get games won on him, but also he's playing on the away servers. We're playing these first 2 games on US West servers, which are Dreaz's, as he's going to get scored on again. 9-5 here. He's going to slap an OK in the chat. Maybe not liking his own play here. But with 7 seconds left, Gino is going to take game number 1. Gino's just like everybody else in chat who comes into my tourneys and says, "Oh, you're going to crush me." Gino said earlier today, "I haven't beat Dreaz in a long time." But here he is, taking game number 1. He played Fennec versus Ranny, you think? That might be true. I think you're right. I think he has played some Fennec. Okay, it looks like he's spectating, so that means he's back in the game. We should be able to start game number 2 here. And yes, you're right. Dreaz in the Fennec looking nice too. So he's got a sweet decal setup looking like Superman or something, or maybe Spider-Man with that red and blue. He is going to get the kickoff goal. He knows what he's doing. I think he also took red team, which I think Gino had last time around, but nice kickoff. Look at that. That's a pretty nice card. I like that Spider-Man themed colors. Or maybe it's Super. I feel like it's Spider-Man. Whatever. Haters going to hate. We're not going to talk about it too much. But Dreaz, looking to regain his momentum in game number 1. Gino already doing what multiple people could not against Dreaz, which is take at least one game. And in deciding fashion, too, as he ends up almost doubling up on Dreaz in that game number 1. He's going to have to start game number 2, though, from behind. Dreaz with an opportunity off the wall. Some fakes from Gino and a good backwards challenge. As a couple of hesitation plays from Gino forced Dreaz to take that ball down, and then a very well-timed backwards challenge, something that people usually have a really hard time timing correctly. Nice second tap. Dreaz knows exactly the sweet spot to get these second touches. When you're going for these air dribbles or anything towards the net, it doesn't really matter what you do except for right before you get to that net where that person needs to make that change. You can do all the crazy taps you want, but if the time it gets to the net, if it's going in the same direction, it's just going to get saved. But Dreaz understands he needs to do the opposite. It doesn't even matter if he touches it at all until right before that save needs to be made. He's going to tap it away. Dreaz weak flick is going to result in Gino just slapping this ball to the wall. Dreaz not getting a lot of power on this play off the wall, but he's actually able to get down and get a nice low 50-50 to prevent an instant counterattack. Gino certainly had the speed to potentially score that, but a good bump and just shove play by Dreaz to make sure he maintains that defense. Nice flick, Dreaz saying I can throw the 90-degree flicks too, Gino. It's not just you. This one with extreme power. All the way past midfield. Holy cow. Nice placement here. Gino doesn't even go up for it. He knows he's beat. As he goes down 3-0. Needs to start finding some of that magic from game number 1. Dreaz electing to keep that pressure on even though he's in a low boost situation. Does not want to see Gino set up a dribble where he goes for another one of those signature flicks. We talked about Gino being well-rounded as he's going to get scored on a just weak 50-50 here on the wall as he goes up in the air. But to be fair, I think the past couple series we've seen from him, and at least definitely this series so far, he does like to stay glued to the ground a little bit. It's not impossible for him to go for the air dribbles. I feel like we've seen him go air dribble bumps. I feel like we've seen him go flip resets and ceiling shots. We've seen it all from him. Maybe he finds himself most comfortable sticking mostly to the ground game. He's certainly sticked almost exclusively to the ground game so far today. We can't say the same for Dreaz, who almost prefers those air dribbles and those slight redirections right at the end, as he's going to take to the air once again when he has the opportunity to do whatever he wants. Gino is up early, but it's easy to read when you get for those early pre-jumps. Dreaz not able to get this ball around, though. I think that's an opportunity Dreaz needs to be finishing if he wants to be scoring on everything that he should be. Nice low 50-50 though off the air dribble. Notice Dreaz prefers to start all of his attacks by getting up in the air. He does not want to just dribble it low. Even though he does eventually take it to the ground, he likes to start with the air. Gino did make a big mistake despite being able to stop out that earlier challenge. I don't think he wants to pre-jump as early as he did. Whenever you do want to do those pre-jumps, I think, which we have seen people do, you have to almost rush to the ball as fast as you can, whereas that pre-jump Gino was going for was a little bit of like a hover in front of the path. That's the kind of pre-jump you can't do, as Gino's going to slap in an own goal and maybe start getting a little bit tilted after such a good performance in game number 1, as he's getting a little bit blown out here in game number 2. Wanted to steal that boost and maybe just clear that ball back to his own half, but instead finds the wrong chip and sends it right into his own goal. Miss from Gino off the wall. Nice demo here. Gino certainly is fast enough to get this one, and he will get his first goal, game number 2. Definitely isn't over with 2 minutes left. In a 1v1, 5 goals, or just a couple kickoffs, maybe 1 or 2 regular goals. The next thing you know, it's all tied up. It'd be a mistake to count Gino out already, especially considering he won game number 1 by at least 5 goals. Nice dribble setup from him. Did a good job to turn Dreaz back and forth, but was unable to get that final touch into the net as he ends up shooting it wide. This flick is weak and easily saved by Dreaz. Luckily for Gino, there's not an immediate counterattack. Dreaz good low 50-50. Rushes to that ball early. Sends it on the wall where he feels most comfortable. Thinks he's got an advantage here, bringing these in the air. Loses that air dribble a little back towards midfield and has to try and get back around it, which means he's not going to be able to get an actually dangerous touch. And he will get counterattacked and punished for it as Gino gets goal number 2. This all happened because Dreaz's first touch off the wall was not a good one. He ended up having to use a lot of boost just to get back to that ball and try and bring it to the net. By the time he'd done that, he used up ball's boost and not really put a great shot on. So Gino has no troubles counterattacking him. In the future, Dreaz might do well to just give up on plays when he misses that first touch as bad as he did, but in his defense, he was almost able to get back to stop Gino. Gino taking to the wall, and this is where we need to see some good plays from him, and what comes out of that in the corner is just nothing as he brings it across the net without a scoring opportunity. And he's going to have to find a way to put those balls in dangerous positions when starting in the corner. Because as reliable as his dribbles from midfield are, is just not always the situation he's going to find himself in when looking to score. He's going to have to find other ways. Which we have faith in Dreaz to do. He's shown himself to be a well-rounded enough player. In order to figure it out, Dreaz may be going for the ground pinch. Gino, I think, giving almost a little bit too much credit to Dreaz on that attempt. As he could have afforded to get down on the ground and steal that away much earlier, but was scared that Dreaz was going to be able to do something special. But this will be the end of the game, whether or not either of these guys put in another goal. 6-2 means game number 2 will go to Dreaz. GG's from both these guys. Alright, game number 1 to Drino. Game number 2, sorry, to Drino. I was reading both their names at once. Game number 1 to Game number 1 to Gino. Game number 2 to Dreaz. Momentum has certainly fully switched back in Dreaz's favor. Gino with that surprise game number 1 that he won, honestly, in dominating fashion. Gonna need to see more of whatever it was that got him the win last time. This time he's gonna just set up an assist into his own net. Dreaz just walks it slowly in. Gino just getting a little panicky now. Started this game off so confident and clinical, but after a couple good goals from Dreaz, a couple counterattacks and a couple nice air dribbles, Gino's starting to fear the worst in almost every situation, and it's leading to just turning into some more free goals. This shot is in. I don't know how he does it. Gino just can always score with this shot, no matter what. The shot is nice. I mean, I thought Dreaz was going to be able to get there, but Gino just puts it in the net almost every time. I mean, even if Dreaz did get behind that, that was going to be a hard save, and Gino would probably follow it up for another goal. It's just insane that we don't see people going for this more often. Nice kickoff goal for Dreaz. I don't know. Gino has just perfected that flick. He always knows how to put it in the perfect spot with the right speed to get goals out of it. Dreaz taken to the air again. Very willingly gets that flip reset, but is going to have to take it to the ground. Gonna need to see a quick counterattack goal here from Gino. Would like to see him take that ball off the wall faster, pressure Dreaz for making these risky plays, but unfortunately Dreaz is able to just take that ball before it even crosses midfield and take possession over again as he takes the skies and gets a flip reset so he can use it whenever he wants. Nice timing, but that ball ends up going right to where Gino already was. I want to see another quick play here. Gino likes to take it low. Nice shot. If he just placed that a little bit more to the right, would have been unsavable. But he's not able to turn in a goal for this possession. Good timing from Dreaz. Gino just waiting a little bit too long to set up that dribble after that first pop. Just a really good read from Dreaz. Nice. Oh, I think that net was open. I think Dreaz was afraid that Gino was coming in. Maybe tried to fake him a little bit, but was wrong about that. I think if he had just rushed that shot, he would have scored right away. But really good power slide from Dreaz to just get behind that ball in the first place. I don't think Gino expected that. And a tie goal will happen right here. I think, did Dreaz just miss a touch here going for a dribble, something like that? I think he tried to catch this off the wall. Yeah, probably thought he was chipping that with the corner of his car, but a whiff means a goal for Gino. As he ties this game number 3, he's going to take this boost and probably have possession. I assume he's got to go back to the one that works the best for him. This flick, not quite a 90-degree flick. Not quite as strong. Ooh, not a great 50-50 for him. As I don't think this ball is rolling right in. But this goal line, I am surprised that Dreaz just let Gino have that. He is going to be able to get back here, but, I mean, it's nearly impossible. Maybe Dreaz was so sure that that ball was going in, but if Dreaz wanted to, he could have 50-50'd in front of that net, and oh my goodness, Gino gave it right back to him, though. So both these guys have now blown some wide open opportunities, as Dreaz certainly should have scored on the initial attack, and Gino misses on what was a fairly wide open net. So we stayed tied at 2-2, trading mistakes. Gino's going to set up a dribble here, and Dreaz is going to give him the space, and Gino's so close to making him pay yet again with that signature move. Dreaz trying to bait Gino into making a bad challenge. Gino times it well, gets up in the air, is not able to get around that ball. Really good challenge from him, but he's not able to finish it for a bucket. We're going to stay at 2-2. Both these guys put in really good attempts, though. Or say a couple bad attempts and now a couple good attempts, as they both had their opportunity to miss open goals. Gino tries to play it slow and does not trick Dreaz out. A nice power clear from Dreaz, something we don't see very often from these guys, as it usually just results in handing over possession. In this case, it's going to do just that. Gino, though, with no boost, trying to set up a play, tricks Dreaz into thinking he had possession and takes a third shot and gets it. Dreaz just maybe was afraid of getting bumped there after making that first touch, so reverses a little bit in order to dodge it, and ends up just handing that ball away. And Gino does well to place that shot quickly, goes up 3-2, and of course, this is always the most devastating thing in 1v1s. Nothing like a very hard-earned goal that took many, many minutes to get erased by one that takes 2 seconds. Have to be able to hit your kickoffs. 2 kickoff goals in a row would be devastating to take the lead, but Dreaz is going to be able to stop Gino's potential kickoff goal to take the lead back. Gino is able to maintain possession, though. Going for his first attack in the air, gets a flip reset, but actually gets a little bit of a lucky tap off the wall to prevent Dreaz from immediately catching that ball and taking the counterattack. Another long shot from Dreaz, this time forcing out a little bit of a tough save from Gino. But kind of going for the just slam and rebound attack is Dreaz right now, as he's willing to just pound it all the way from his own half, which are very savable shots for these top level players. Don't ever expect them to go in, as when they have that amount of time to corral them out of the net. Dreaz, another kind of missed touch in his own half, which has resulted in a few goals before. He's not going to be able to use the boost to get in front of this. Really nice play from Dreaz with 0 boost to prevent that goal from going in. Able to use that flip to keep his car high. He is eventually going to get scored on, though, and Gino is going to go up 4-3 in game number 2 with 17 seconds left. Gino might be putting himself on match point against Dreaz, who has been on fire recently, but Gino has just been clinical, patient, willing to play for the attempts that he wants, not rushing anything. Has fixed what he was doing wrong in game number 2. He started that a little bit at the beginning of this game, just kind of freaking out and almost over-respecting Dreaz's ability to put intense shots in. Now, not giving too much respect, giving just the right amount, as he's able to get a nice 50-50 and pinch that ball to the ground. Gino's going to go up 2-1 on Dreaz. Gino does have the benefit of playing these last games on his servers. He's got a 60 ping advantage now, which is certainly significant. And since he was able to steal essentially a home game for Dreaz, he now just has to win the majority of his own home games, and he'll pull off the victory as he's put himself on match point in game number 4. Time to see how Dreaz adjusts to the patient clinical play that we're seeing from Gino. It seems like so far what he's resulted to is slamming that ball. Maybe he's trying to just increase the ball speed, increase the number of attempts in this game. Certainly if he thinks he's the better player, he just wants to get as many opportunities on net as he can, just force it over and over and over again. The more attempts these two guys trade off, the idea is maybe Dreaz might pull more of them out than Gino, as he just tries to pressure and speed this ball as much as he can. This time though, he's going to let a free ball roll towards his net. He's able to get that 50-50 pinch save out, as Gino will hit this ball backwards to try and maintain possession, but maybe lets this ball go a little bit too far, and he does. Dreaz is going to be able to take it away, grab it, and put this first goal in of game number 1. All of this coming down to Gino in his attempt to maintain possession and keep Dreaz off his back. Ended up slamming that ball to the wall a little bit too upfield, which meant Dreaz was going to be able to get in front of it before him. And a kickoff goal for Dreaz means he's going to go up 2-0. Gino watching this replay to see what he missed on this kickoff, why it didn't go his way. Another huge miss from Gino on the kickoff, but luckily for him, it seemed like Dreaz had actually missed a little bit as well. A nice bump will get him his first goal. Dreaz was trying to clear this one back into his own half after grabbing boost. A pretty dangerous touch though from him, and he is going to get punished for it as Gino bumps him. Not sure that touch is ever the best touch, as Dreaz goes for that back clear, 4 feet from his net. Seems like there's got to be better ways to clear that back into your own half. But Dreaz certainly favoring speed in these last 2 matchups. He's not willing to slow down when it comes to any hit. He noticed that one was offline. No reason to save it. He's going to set up a dribble attack here. Nice fakes. Really good shot from Dreaz. Good play from him, as he's able to get this one in. Dreaz hitting the no ways. Nice 360. Getting up in the air, getting behind that ball. Those 360s, when these guys are going for the dribbles, they're not just doing it for style. Those 90-degree and 180-degree flicks are so dangerous that any moment during the 360, as Dreaz honestly missed what should have been an easy double tap. I think he had the boost. He just ended up using it a little bit too late to hit that double tap. But as I was saying, those 360s are not just stylish. They're threatening 90 and 180-degree flicks that they could use at any time. Look at the precision and placement on these Gino flicks. This one had the speed. It didn't even need to be this good. Honestly, it could have been much worse. But look at the speed he puts that, and look at the spot he puts that on as it slams off the right post. It couldn't possibly be better than that. You cannot let this guy get to his flick, especially with any space. You need to either already be in net or be right on top of him. He will put that in the perfect spot every time, as he's proven time and time again. Absolutely insane placement from him as he gets his second goal here and reduces that lead to just 1. Dreaz continuing to play that fast-paced attack, putting in shot after shot after shot, as he's going to get Gino up here early. As a result of playing so fast, these guys are having to play backwards as they awkwardly try and tap this away. Gino does do a good job to play in reverse and clear it out. Dreaz is going to take all the boost he can. Gino's going to need to grab something on his way back to net. Catches the 100 last second, but wouldn't have needed it. Looks like he only needed about 12 boosts, but where the 100 did him well was the ability to clear it afterwards. Trying to snag a demo, but Dreaz does a good read to keep him away. 2 minutes here. I think these low-scoring games are certainly what Gino wants Even though he did, I mean, in his defense, he did score a very high, or did win a very high-scoring game in game number 1. Nice placement on this first hit from Gino. From Dreaz, leaves Gino in a really awkward spot. With his car already turned, he has no choice but to try and go for that squishy save. Turning around regularly or reversing is just such a slow play that Dreaz is going to be able to score every time. Kickoff goal attempt, but actually nice pre-flip by Gino to tap it away. He's going to need to stay on top of this ball to keep Dreaz out, but with low boost on the wall is a dangerous situation, and Dreaz lets it become a goal. I think Dreaz knew just how dangerous Gino was being, sitting on that wall with 0 boost. When you keep your car as high up in the air as that, if you lose any sort of 50-50, it just takes too long for that car to come to the ground and start your retreat back. So it's very dangerous. Dreaz thought he had the opportunity to steal a goal away from Gino, but Gino timed it well, hits it off the wall, gets his 3rd goal, of course, taken away immediately by the Dreaz kickoff goal before we could even finish hyping Gino up for his good play. Minute 20 left, power shot from Dreaz, something that we've really only seen Kinsey able to put goals in consistently with. Normally, as just happened, those long shots seem to get easily saved. I don't know what it is about Kinsey and the way he goes for those attempts that he's able to sneak them by. Whether he hits them faster or stronger, or maybe just a combination of both. As Dreaz's power shot is easily saved, he catches himself in an awkward situation, but he's able to clip a bump on Gino. Gino does well to play slow. Although that jump and fake was not great. He's going to put almost a greatly placed shot. I think Gino could have afforded to not go for a slow play in that situation. The advantage that Gino had in front of the net there was having extra boost and having speed. But when he went for that straight up and down jump fake, what he ended up doing was making his car have a very predictable next few moments. Anytime in these games and in these 1v1s, when you're trying to decide how to defend, how best to defend, as Gino's flick from the right side might not be as money as his flick from the left side, as that one gets easily saved and almost counterattacked. He's going to be able to stop this one, but not get it in the net, or even if he does, he's not going to be able to get 2, so he just lets the ball roll as we force game number 5, Gino versus Dreaz. But I don't know if the emote has yet been approved, but once it does, that'll be the case. So anyways, as I was saying, as we get into this game number 5 between Dreaz and Gino, as they've been trading games back and forth, I think, starting with Gino. So if it continues to go back and forth, we'll see Gino winning in this game number 5. But Dreaz will get the first goal. I was talking about how important it is in ones to maintain car mobility, maintain the ability to kind of do whatever you want. And what I mean by that is when you keep your car on the ground, keep those 4 wheels on the ground, you still have your jump available, you still have, you know, boosting and hitting the ball available, you still have setting up a flick, you still have setting up a dribble, you still have rushing the ball, you still have playing it slow. It's kind of like the triple threat in basketball when you can do almost anything when you keep those wheels on the ground. What Gino did in the previous game that I've yet to criticize is by using his jump and jumping all the way up in the air, he's now made only one option for his car. There's nothing his car is going to do except for fall back down. Once it falls back down, there's far less options for what he can do with hitting the ball, and just ends up making it much easier to predict as a defender. I think in that last opportunity he could have afforded to kept his wheels down and tried something special. Dreaz is just going to rush a ball in here while Gino goes for boost. Night Owl redeeming his 1v1 with me mid-game, so I guess we'll have to let him do that. But Dreaz, in the beginning of this very important game number 5, is going to get 3 goals in 40 seconds, as he's maybe figured out how best to get past Gino here. Gino, nice play at midfield, isn't going to be able to finish it for a goal though. Gives a nice shot to himself. Nice demo is going to end up putting the ball high, though. We watch from Gino's respawn location. Dreaz might have had the opportunity to squeeze that one in. Hopefully these guys aren't getting the same latency variation and packet loss that I am. I've noticed that I'm getting some drop frames. Hopefully you guys aren't dealing with that. Hopefully it's not just my internet. As Dreaz's first reset does not connect. Not able to hit it on the bounce either. But Dreaz in full control. How many shots? Yeah, Gino with 1 shot to Dreaz's 7 so far at the beginning of this game. Have not seen many attempts from Gino as Dreaz keeps the pressure on. If the game stays the way it is, we could see a blowout. Gino needs to start putting on some more opportunities. He's going to have one here as he's got the ball on his sweet half of the field. That dangerous left side of the field where he's able to slam those amazing flicks. Gino not able to get that pinch on the wall he was looking for, and now this clear is not going to be good enough. Dreaz will punish him again. Gino trying to get a challenge early and maybe just trying to keep possession of the ball, but that tap off the wall ends up doing exactly the opposite as he taps it to the center, and Dreaz is able to make him pay. This is the kind of stuff that Dreaz is forcing out of him after, just from the speed that Dreaz has been playing with the past few games. He's been keeping on such intense pressure that Gino probably felt like Dreaz was right behind him on the wall there, felt like he needed to tap that ball away. Did not realize that what he was doing was actually just tapping that ball as a pass. Dreaz completely misses on this bump, and that'll be a counterattack goal for Gino. So Gino's going to put his second shot on board. 50% shooting percentage. I really hope these guys aren't seeing the same latency variation that I am. Hopefully the stream isn't suffering too much. Dreaz in a little bit of like panic mode here as he just keeps flipping around the ball to prevent Gino from getting a shot, but Gino is just absolutely and completely willing to sit and wait. Says, Dreaz, you can flip around the ball as much as you want. You just let me know when you're going to give me control. He waits long enough to take that ball away, put a nice dribble flick at the top of the net. Gino, really good at picking his challenges so far this series. Knows when he needs to go and when not to go for these attempts from Dreaz, which is especially hard to do when someone's playing as fast as he is. Nice backflip challenge here as his ball bounces. These two trying to decide who's going to go for it, playing a little bit of chicken, and Gino's almost able to sneak a shot in. Nice last second flip from Dreaz to keep him out, and Gino attempt off the wall. Unsuccessful, but he does grab possession, but not able to convert this into a goal. Might be able to get around this ball and shoot it in. Dreaz, really nice defense from him as it's not over for him yet. Gino trying to fake. I think that might have been the wrong idea. Could have afforded to just tap that ball away from Dreaz since Dreaz's challenge was perfectly in line with the ball. Of course, that's relevant. Sorry, perfectly in line with the ball's motion. Fakes are best when, you know, somebody is trying to time the ball passing right in front of them, but if it doesn't matter if they get there early or late and they're still going to hit the ball, well, then you can't fake because they're not going to end up going flying by it. Nice air dribble, using those wheels to get a favorable 50-50. Wheels have a way of just stopping that ball in place. Dreaz does well to take that 50-50 wheel first, which means that ball is just going to glue, and then after glue, slowly roll his direction as he gets a 5th goal. Setting up a dribble of his own, his 360 ends up being a little bit too far in front of the ball. Gino elects to go for a dribble instead of a really fast play. Is unable to connect on that bump. I think he might have actually chipped Dreaz's car, but not enough to actually stop him from saving it. Both these guys playing with no boost as Dreaz's flick gets stopped out by Gino, and now they'll be able to clear it to the side and grab 100. Nice counterattack off the wall. Ends up missing actually pretty significantly wide. But with 20 seconds left, just like that, before we know it, it's looking like Gino is not going to be able to pull off the upset in the series. He is going to get this 3rd goal with 11 seconds left. He needs a couple creative kickoffs to tie it back up. It's certainly not impossible, but nobody would be betting on him. These are the interesting situations I like to see from these guys who play lots of ones. Are we going to see something special in terms of kickoff for Gino? But no, both these guys just go for a regular kickoff. Gino's going to take it off the wall. Dreaz is too fast, too good at defending in the air. That's his thing. And looks like he is going to take game number 5 by 2. But good showing from Gino. Good plan from both these guys. Really good series. Gino, once again, just crushing it. What's going on, Rest Repo? Thanks for the Twitch Prime, by the way. Get some maybe some chat for him.